So this might just be the biggest Gibson secret that a lot of people don't want us to talk about. Okay, so a real good friend of mine, Derek over at Rev, this is actually his guitar. This is not mine. This is a 92 Les Paul. And late one night, as Derek does, he starts sending me text messages, guitar listings on Reverb, a 91 Firebird, a 91 Explorer, a 91 Les Paul. And I'm like, what's up? What's up all this? He's like, you don't know about 91 Gibsons? I'm like, I don't apparently. So Derek's gonna tell us about it because this is, I think, probably one of the biggest kept secrets, and this is a 92, but as I researched it more and more, I found out about what was called the Goodwood era of Gibson, and I gotta say, they were right. All right, so we have, which I hadn't, well, actually probably start off by saying who you are. This is Derek.
Hi, everybody.
Derek from Rev. And the other night, as you were text bombing me, listings of 90s, 91 Firebirds, 91 Explorers. I was confused why Derek kept sending me all these 90s Gibsons, and apparently
they're the best.
That's it.
What?
That's the video.
Hey, don't buy them.
Don't buy them.
If you see them on Reverb, just send the link to Derek@revamps.com. I'll let you know if it sucks.
Well, you said, and Dorian, who's behind the camera here, you said it's something called the Goodwood era.
Yeah. So, folklore or not, I don't really know. I'm not that well researched in this. How this came about is I've had a number of Les Pauls over the years. And when Dorian came to work at Rev, he is our in-house creative person, like designer. Anything visual that looks great at Rev is because of Dorian. So he came in and he was like, oh, Bud, do you need a 91 Les Paul? And I was like, man, I don't believe any of that crap.
Yeah.
And then he brought in 3 91 Les Pauls like a day or two later, and he hands me one, and I'm like, oh, what's this? He's like, 91 Les Paul. And it was perfect. It stayed in tune. That was the first thing that I noticed was, no, sorry, that's not true. The first thing I noticed is the neck.
Mm-hmm.
That they have the, like, it's almost like a cross between the 50s and 60s neck, is what it feels like to me. I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah, it's a really interesting...
It's not super thin, but it's not chunky.
No, and I had heard people say Goodwood era before, but I never really even looked into what it was or understood what it was. And there's a wide range of years, but it does seem like I watched videos about it too, and literally everyone had a 91 Les Paul.
I have not picked up 191. Or, like, that one's a 92 that you have. So
yeah.
It's not quite the best.
We should probably hear them.
Yeah.
Because you're... so, Derek, funny enough, is playing through the Rev.
Yeah.
And then I'm playing through the Marshall.
Yeah.
And then 91.
Yeah.
Yeah. And although there's amps are polar opposites. Yeah. There it is. That's the lick. And then this one sounds even chunkier.
Yeah.
Which is, are these the stock pickups?
I think so.
In it?
Yeah. That guitar is like a certified rock machine.
I mean, it just,
like,
you just want to rip on it. It's,
yeah.
I haven't even heard the neck yet. sounds really good.
It does. Every 91 that I've ever picked up feels great. They all sound really good.
Yeah.
And they pretty much all stay in tune. Like, that one's having a little bit of trouble because that one had a headstock break. So I got it really cheap. And I had a friend of mine down here, actually, Dan Blom from EB Rooster Guitars.
Dan fixed
that.
it?
Yeah, and refinned the neck. So somebody else had already fixed it. He just cleaned it up because it was a really bad repair. And so that one I haven't played enough that it's, like, the strings just aren't stretched out enough on that. But
it still sounds and feels
yes.
awesome.
But for the most part, I've never played one where it doesn't stay in tune, which is my biggest complaint about every other Les Paul I own.
Yeah, and what I find is kind of funny about these is that they're still pretty affordable comparatively.
Yes.
Online, like, and oddly enough, we were at Carter's the other day, and we're walking around, and I'm like, oh, here's a Les Paul, and Derek looks at the tag. It's a 91. Like, what are the odds? Like, talk about the universe, like, giving you a guitar, and of course, Derek bought it, obviously. And ruined it by taking the pickguard off.
Nope. But look at how beautiful this looks now.
No.
That's another thing we should touch on quickly. Never mind 91 Les Pauls. We should talk about pickguards on Les Pauls. Because why? Like, why would you want to cover up this beautiful top? It makes no sense why you would do that.
Pickguards almost always look better.
Only on Strats.
No.
And Telecasters.
No.
Telecasters without a pickguard is just wrong.
Can I have the KM beside you? I mean, does it not look better with a pickguard on it?
Where's that screwdriver? I'll show you how much better that guitar will look.
Don't worry, he won't be able to get that pickguard off.
It's true. I don't know how them American screwdrivers work. I'm from Canada.
I need that video from you to show Derek not knowing how to use a screwdriver. Pickguard's on. I mean, like, can we have that be in the comment section?
No.
Pickguard or no pickguard on a Les Paul? Do you want a bunch of random holes in the...
There's just two, and you don't even see them.
Oh, that's the first thing I see.
Lies.
No.
Lies.
You don't notice them, but...
The thing I found interesting about this one, so when I first looked at it, the price on it was pretty good, but I'm kind of cheap and don't like paying sticker price on anything, so I tried to wheel and deal on it, and Carter's asked the guy, because it was on consignment, and I sent a picture to Dorian, because Dorian wasn't in Nashville with us yet, and he didn't see it until he got here. I said, hey man, did you see that Les Paul? I'm like, I'm surprised you didn't comment, because it's a 91, and he's like, what, 91? And then, so then he pulled it up, he's like, oh dude, he's like, that's like a limited edition 91. He's like, did you buy it? I'm like, not yet. I'm like, I'm probably gonna, and I told him what the price was. He's like, oh, you should buy that. So it's worth way more than that. So then he pulls up reverb listings that had sold like years ago, 6 years ago, for like almost double what they were asking for it. So we went straight back to Carter's like Monday morning. We're like, so yeah, it's here. Okay, and I grabbed it off the rack and I was like, I'll buy this.
I'll buy it.
Yeah, thank you. After this, I've been trying to test out like the whole idea of Goodwood era, and does it translate across other models from Gibson, because it's well documented that I am not an SG fan. So, but I decided, like, I mean, I've always loved how SGs sound. I just hate neck dive really a lot.
I just sold my...
You just sold your SG?
It's the 4th SG I've had.
Yep.
Sold it again. Sold to Steve.
I had one for a while. It had the 50s neck, so I also don't love the 50s neck. And then I was like, well, wait a second. I'm like, I wonder if 91 SGs are like 91 Les Pauls. Like, I wonder if they have the same profile of neck, you know. And I'm like, okay. So I started looking. I haven't found any SGs yet, but I did find a 91 Firebird, which was the one that I'd sent you the listing on at Rumble Seat here. So after we were done at Carter's, I went over to Rumble Seat to play it, and as soon as I picked it up, I'm like, yep, this is like a very similar neck carve. It feels the same. The guitar is unbelievable. Same thing.
Just 91. It must be across the board.
Stays nicely in tune. Yeah, maybe. I mean, the internet will tell us in the comments what we're all wrong on here.
Yeah.
So,
well, they'll let us know that right away.
Yeah. But I can tell you for sure, the Goodwood era is not the 2006 Les Paul Traditional I have. That is not the Goodwood era.
That is not the good one.
Every person who plays that guitar like plays it, and it's just like, oh yeah, and then hands it back. So if you have a 91 Explorer, a 91 Firebird, or a 91 SG, please email Derek at revamps.com pictures of your guitar that you are willing to sell at a bargain price.
So there you guys have it. The Goodwood era Les Paul is 91. What was really funny to me was when I started researching this, looking it up, there was a video of a guy who made, it was like a vertical video, and he had a 91 Les Paul. I'm like, wow, I've never heard of this. I've heard of Goodwood era, but I didn't know exactly what years it was or anything. But apparently 91 in particular is a really, really good year to get Gibsons in general. And this 92 is just phenomenal. So you can actually get these relatively inexpensive. Air quotes, because that is a Gibson, so it is expensive. So get them while you can, because 90s stuff seems to be on the rise as well. Much like the 70s stuff went way up, 80s is on the way, and the 90s will be shortly after. So anyways, get yourself a 91 Les Paul if you dare, or at least try one, and get it on. Rock and roll, baby. Later, guys. Hey, Derek, I think I should put the pick guard back on this guitar, shouldn't I? All right, later, homies. We'll just put this right here. There we go.